Hello everybody on this side of the rainbow spectrum of gender and all the way over to the other side and everybody in between. Welcome to my channel. It's lovely to see you. I want to introduce you to something that I went hunting for. And I finally found him. So cute. It could even be a female. I don't know. Or maybe it just doesn't want to be, it doesn't want to pick a gender yet. I don't know. No clue. But look what I got today. I got this little Killstar troll today. I'm so happy. I have been wanting this for months and months and months because something happened when I was trying to get it at first. I was having some trouble with my bank card. It was being troublesome, and well, eventually we got it somewhat resolved, and I was able to finally find one on eBay. So I got my troll. I'm very happy. There's a cat here. She's going to be around. You might see her on occasion. I don't know how rambunctious she's going to get. But I'm here to tell you a story about what it was like coming from where I used to live in Texas to where I live now, which is Plymouth in England. Well, let's just say there was this lady. She was a friend of, she was the mother of a friend of mine, somebody who I really care about. And I still refer to him as my brother, because he is. Well, she took one look at me and decided after a while that, you know what, I'm going to adopt you. You're going to be my daughter. And, it really touched me. So this wonderful lady who had the patience and the time to just get to know me, which was great, she took me to the airport. And you have to understand, my partner and I had been getting to know one another on Second Life for a year, on Skype for a year, and it had all been up to that point, cuddly, affectionate, platonic, loving. It was sweet. I loved it. However, we had been on voice chat and we'd been on video calls frequently, to the point where some nights we would fall asleep watching a movie. It wasn't creepy because I care about her. So after a time, we began discussing me coming to England. And I was not, nor have I really ever been in my life, in the position to, have enough to buy a plane ticket anywhere at just, drop of a hat. Or even, within like 6 months. I need a lot of time to plan. And I didn't have it at the time. And, she was working overtime. And some of it I knew, but I didn't realize how much. She'd been doing it for about 9 months, I think. And she told me one night on webcam that she had a ticket for me. And you have to understand, I know it's a completely online relationship. I know. And I know that for some people that can seem very strange, maybe dangerous even. And I would completely and do respect that. But when you spend as much time with each other as she and I did, I had to try. Everything was saying yes. Everything felt fine. And Well, I found out that it was a one-way ticket, which was a little, ooh, and I was a little trepidatious, but I thought, I have to do this. So I packed my little carry-on with as much as I could. Miss Ruth, the lady that I was telling you about, who I called mom, um, she grew up in the Depression, and so she had this ability to pack, and she could pack a suitcase. My gosh! And she showed me how. So I was able to pack everything I needed in one carry-on suitcase. So it was always with me, and I could kind of quell some of the stress that I was feeling because I get anxious and anxiety. And well, I didn't really have much of that because I had it with me at all times. Um, she she helped me with that, and so she drove me to the airport, and with her little spindly arms around me, because she was getting older, and her arms start to get that frailty to them, you know, and it hurt to say goodbye to her, but she kept whispering to me. She's like, "You're doing the right thing. You're going to the right person. I can feel it." And she's a really spiritual lady, and she never guided me wrong, you know. And so on a whole lot of trust and a bit of faith, I suppose. I got on that plane. And mind you, I was panicking the whole time because I hadn't been in an airport in forever. Um, I had a print out of a ticket, which in my mind did not ring as genuine ticket. A plane ticket to me looks different. So the first thing I did when I went into the airport was I verified the validity of my ticket. I'm like, okay, is this valid? Is it okay? Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead, go on in. And a couple of times, and I know I had the deer caught in headlights look. Let's see. The first, okay, I caught a plane from where I was to North Carolina, and oh no, I'm sorry, Dallas to North Carolina. And in North Carolina, their airport isn't exactly small. So I was a little lost, and thankfully, some very kind lady found me and showed me the way. And I was very, very thankful for her. And I know that she knew how thankful I was. um, she was wonderful. But she showed me how to go and where to go. So I did. And from North Carolina, I went all the way up to New York. New York Airport is rather like its own city. You get off the plane, and all of a sudden, it's like retail heaven or hell or purgatory. I don't know. Wherever the heck you are happiest or not happiest, you will find a place in New York Airport. Um, these were not things I was interested in. I wanted to know, where do I go to get on the plane that takes me where I need to go? Couldn't figure out where to go because there were escalators, there were trolleys, there were, I think, trams is what they're called. Um, and I was just standing there kind of like trembling, like, oh my God, what do I do? And I saw this little Japanese businessman, and I thought, okay, he doesn't look mean. Maybe I can ask him. And I asked him, I said, where are you going? And he said, well, I'm going to England. And I said, oh, well, what opening are you going to? I'm not thinking of the word. Please excuse me, okay? I don't go to airports very often, so I'm not familiar with a lot of the terminology, but I said, may I follow you? Once we established we were both going to the same place. And he said yes. He was very polite, very quiet, and I proceeded to follow him. And I'm very thankful that I did, because I feel I went upstairs, downstairs, onto a little like bus across this great vast distance. I'm exaggerating, but it felt like it a little bit. Then up some stairs, then across this tunnel like thing. And then I've, you know, by the time I got where I needed to go, the terminal, um, I had a call from one of my friends in New York. And he said, I could take you out for some New York cheesecake. And I thought, no, I don't want to go out for anything. And I didn't tell him that, obviously, in that tone, because he's a really nice guy. Court reporter, actually. He has a very interesting job. Stressful, I would think, but he loves it. So, I'm happy for him. Um, so we talked a little bit on the phone, and then I went and I got some overpriced food, something small, and a bottle of water. Not thinking. Hadn't been on a flight in a while. I'd say at least 15 years, so I put the bottle of water in my backpack and my tote, and I proceeded to walk towards the terminal. And that, I knew to take my shoes off. I was already ready. I knew what to take off, so I did. And then I get stopped by, well, what is this? Oh, well, it's water. I just bought it from over there. Totally innocent, but they were looking at me askance, like, I'm like thinking to myself, come on, I would never. Anyway, I guess they figured out I was not a horrible person, and they went ahead and they let me through. So yay, I got through the airport, right? I get on the plane, and it is one of those planes that I'd only ever really read about in my father's like science. What was it? Popular science. They were just, it was almost like science fiction, because I had not seen one of those planes in my life. I knew they kind of existed. Didn't think I'd be on one. And I think it's called an Airbus. But you get on, and oh my gosh, it's a row of chairs here, and then there's a passage, and then there's like this embankment of chairs in the middle, and then there's another passage, and then there's another, and it's like, wow, okay. So I followed, and fortunately I was able to find my place where I was sitting. And yeah, I thought, hey, I could get a few hours sleep, we'll get there, just not even thinking as the plane is flying. I'm losing those hours anyway. I didn't get any sleep. Not that I really get sleep anyway. I'm rather an insomniac, and if you feel like making suggestions on how to sleep, you can try. I've probably tried them. Anyway, I get on the plane, I find my chair, I sit down. Cool. So, we're flying over the Atlantic, and we touch down in Ireland. And it was wonderful news. We get off the flight, and I'm told that I have to run 14 terminals down that way, somehow. Now, I suppose you're going to find out at some point or another. I'm top heavy. I'm gifted in that department. So running plus luggage with one arm across my chest to stop, the movement, because it hurts, for that many terminals. Well, but by the time I got there, I was very happy, until he said, we need to take your bag and put it under the plane. I'm like, really? Yes, we did. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. I don't really fight much, It's like, I know there's no point, right? They're going to fight and they're going to win. So I don't really do it. So they put my bag under the plane, and I climbed onto this plane that from an Airbus to a 2 seats on one side, 2 seats on the other side, long aisle plane, which I was more accustomed to, so I was like, okay, fine. So I went about midway, sat down, and all anybody could do was stare at these duty-free catalogs. And I don't know why, but I've never actually looked at one. Um, I'm not sure why, but it's just something I never did. Uh, well, while they're doing that, the very cool part about a smaller plane is that when they bring the engine up to speed right before takeoff, it's this amazing rush of power. And I have to say, I'm a fan. You know, I love a powerful car. I love a powerful plane. I'm a fan. Always loved a muscle car. I mean, who doesn't? You know. um. So yeah, and I'm looking out the window, and this is where it's really interesting to me. You look out the window and you just see clouds. And prior to the descent, you could see for miles and miles and miles and miles. And there were the wispy clouds, but that was cool. But on your descent to England, the clouds become like whipped cream. They become thicker and harder to see through. And there's a layer. And then you think you've seen it all, but then there's a lighter gray layer. And then a darker gray layer. And it just seems to build. And it's building this like layer upon layer upon layer of cloud cover. And I was so happy to see it. I mean, look at me. Come on. I don't tan. I'm pale. I have two colors. I'm this or I'm like bright red. And it hurts. So I avoid that state. You know. All I do is burn. And I just kind of had to give up on it when I was 16. So I just had to realize that when I do go into pools, I blind people. I'm kidding, but not really though. People would complain. They're like, "Geez, you're so pale." Thank you. So we're coming down in the clouds, and we finally land in England, right where I was supposed to be. And I'm so incredibly happy about this, right? I'm looking outside, and it's everything I had hoped for. Because I like gray. I like gloomy. I like cooler. I like a little windy. I like cloudy. I love it, but according to the definitions, I'm goth. I do have a tendency to like certain things. So I get off the plane, and once I manage to get through everything, I go out into the lobby. And then I realize I don't have an English phone. I can't make an international phone call. I have a debit card from Texas, and I don't know how to do anything really here. So I'm facing a phone booth, looking at a phone, thinking, do I dial 0 and I get an operator? I'm not sure. I was just about to do it. And then I got this feeling. I had this really good feeling come over me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's here. I knew it. And so I turned around and I was looking for her, right? And of course, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm too tall. I'm too overweight. I'm too this or I'm too that. I'm not good enough, whatever. Just the jitters, I guess. But when I first saw her, she was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Um, and it was as if, and you do hear this description sometimes, it's true, but it was as if the whole world just went, phew. Nothing else really mattered. All I saw was her. And when she came towards me, we held hands, and I will never forget the most wonderful feeling overcame me. I was home. I knew I was home when I held her hands. And I have to say, that was in 2011. It's 2021 now. And she's still my best friend. We're still together. I love her so much. I'm sure you can tell. And it was still the best decision I ever made, getting on that plane. It was scary, but it was worth it. And I suggest if you're going to take a chance, make sure that you know who the person is, like I did. I verified who she was. I made sure I knew who her parents were before I left. I made sure I knew who her parents' address was. I verified everything before I left. Because I think it's important to do so. And I also made sure I knew where the American Embassy was and things like that, just in case. You never know. And I always think, at least ever since I was in the military, it taught me to plan for possibilities, eventualities, things that might happen, things that might not. You just never know. So in this world, if you're going to go my route, make sure that you use your head, okay? Because I would really love to see you happy. And I want to see you with a good person, someone that will make you feel, well, hopefully as good as mine does. But yes, you have to be careful, definitely. And I'm not going to be irresponsible and tell people to do something dangerous, okay? But I've never been happier in my life, you know. Uh, so, that's my story. That's how well, some of my story about how I came to England. And I think England is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And I have lived in at least 13 different countries. And it's such a beautiful green here. It's just gorgeous, you know? And when people complain about the rain, I always end up being that little cricket or that little bird on their shoulder going, yeah, but the rain is what makes it so pretty. I don't know if they appreciate it or not, but I have to tell them it's the truth. It's pretty. You have vistas that you can just stand there and look off, and it's just nothing but green and green and green, and it's, wow, it's just stunning. You know, I mean, if you haven't been to England, please come visit, eat the food, see the people. You know, it's a fantastic place. Um, like anything, there's good, there's bad, and I'll be telling you all kinds of stuff that happened to me, and to happen to maybe my friends, or who knows who'll come by. I don't know. I've been talking to some of my friends, and maybe we'll be able to do like an online collab. I don't know, but either way, uh, it has been wonderful talking to you guys and catching up. And I just, I've really enjoyed doing this one with you. I have. And I look forward to talking to you again, okay? Bye.